Good morning, students. In our previous class, we already discussed about the basic of chemical bonding, and there we see that chemical bond is mainly divided into 6 parts, and within these 6 parts, only 3 parts are in your syllabus, such as ionic or electrovalent bond is covalent bond, and the third one is our coordinate bond. In case of ionic bond, today at first we should know what are the primary requirements for the formation of ionic bond. Point number one, in case of ionic bonding, one should be metal and other should non-metal. That is the first point. One should be metal and other should be non-metal. What is the cause behind it? Metal will give electron and non-metal will take electron. We already discussed this thing that in case of ionic bond, that is neither by giving and gaining of electron, that is by giving and gaining of electron. One element, one metal should give electron and can be converted into positive ion, and the non-metal will take that electron and will be converted into negative ion, and there will be an attraction in between positive and negative ion, and by this way they will form bond. Point number 2, it is also very important point. In case of metal, ionization potential should be very less. In case of metal, ionization potential should be very less. That means if the ionization potential will be very less, then it can easily give electron, which is very much required in case of our ionic bond. In case of metal, ionization potential should be very less. That means as soon as the ionization potential will be less, it can easily give electron to any other substance, which is very much required in case of our ionic bond. The third one is in case of non-metal, electron affinity should be very high. In case of metal, ionization potential should be very less, but in case of non-metal, electron affinity should be very high. As soon as the electron affinity will be very high, then it can take electron easily. It can take electron easily. And the last point, that is the fourth point, electronegativity difference should be 2 or more than electronegativity difference should be 2 or more than 2. That means the difference of electronegativity in between metal and non-metal, it should be 2 or more than 2. That means one substance should be electropositive and the other substance should be electronegative. So these are the primary requirements for the formation of ionic bond. Point number 1, one should be metal and other should be non-metal. Point number 2, in case of metal, ionization potential should be very less. Point number 3, in case of non-metal, electron affinity should be very high. And the fourth as well as the last point, that is electronegativity difference should be 2 or more than 2. These are the primary requirements. Now we should discuss how this ionic bond or the electrovalent bond will form by taking an example. Let us take an example of metal. Let us take an example of metal, that is sodium. Let us take an example of metal, that is sodium. And we will take another example of non-metal, that is chlorine. One is sodium, that is metal, and another is chlorine, that is non-metal. If we take the electronic configuration of sodium, if this is the nucleus and this is our first cell, this is our second cell, and this is our third or the valence cell. In case of chlorine, this is the nucleus. In first cell, the number of electron is 2. In second cell, 8, and in third cell, the number of electron is 7. Here the electronic configuration is 2, 8, 1, and here the electronic configuration is 2, 8, and 7. Now both of these, sodium and chlorine, try to fulfill its octet. Both of these, sodium and chlorine, try to fulfill its octet. What is the cause behind it? To get the stability. To get the stability. In case of sodium, there are two possibilities by which it can fulfill its octet in its outermost cell. Number 1, either it will give electron to any other else, either it will give this electron to any other else, then this outermost cell will be vacant, and this cell, the second cell, will be considered as outermost cell, and here 8 number of electron present. Or it can take 7 electron from any other else, and by which it can fulfill its octet. But it is easier to give 1 electron than to take 7 electron. For that, it will give 1 electron to any other else. As a result, it will fulfill its octet in its valence cell. On the other hand, if we consider chlorine, in its valence cell, in its outermost cell, the number of electron is 7. It also tries to fulfill its octet, and here also 2 possibilities are there. Either it will take 1 electron from any other else, or to give 7 electron to any other else. But it is easier to take 1 electron than to give 7 electron. As a result, this sodium will give electron to this chlorine. As a result, this sodium gives 1 electron to this chlorine. And what will be the electronic configuration of sodium then? Number of electron will be 10, 2 and 8, whereas the number of proton is 11. As a result, it will acquire a charge of positive, that is Na plus, single positive. On the other hand, if we consider chlorine, here in the outermost cell the number of electrons are 7. As soon as it will take 1 electron, then the number of electron will be 18, whereas the number of proton is 17. So from here what we see, due to this electron, it will be converted into chlorine negative ion, that is anion. This is our cation, this is our anion. This is our cation and this is our anion. That is single positive, that is single negative. And all of you know that always there is an attraction between positive and negative. As a result, Na plus and Cl minus will join with each other and will produce NaCl Na plus and Cl minus will attract with each other due to this positive and negative ion and will form sodium chloride. Sodium gives 1 electron. For that, the positive valency of sodium, equal to 1, and here chlorine take 1 electron. For that, the negative valency equal to, this is our plus 1 and this is our minus 1. So by this way they will form the bond. If we consider another example, that is magnesium and chlorine. Magnesium and chlorine. In the outermost cell, here we are considering only the outermost cell. Here the number of electron is 2. In the outermost cell, the electronic configuration of magnesium is 2. And if we consider the outermost shell of chlorine, here it is 7, and if we consider this chlorine, here also 7. Now, if magnesium gives these 2 electrons to any other else, then it can fulfill its octet. On the other hand, if chlorine take 1 electron from any other else, then it can fulfill its octet. And this chlorine, if it take 1 electron from any other else, then also it fulfill its octet. Now, this magnesium will give 1 electron to this chlorine and 1 electron to this chlorine. Here magnesium gives 2 number of electron. For that, the positive valency of magnesium is +2. In case of this chlorine, the negative valency is 1. In case of this chlorine, the negative valency is 1. As a result, that will form a compound, and the name of this compound is MgCl2. And the name of this compound is MgCl2. As per our chemical bond, this is the strongest bond. This is the strongest bond because this bond is formed by giving and gaining of electron, that is the formation of ion. For that, the attraction is very, very high. Now we will come to the properties of ionic bonded compound or electrovalent bonded compounds. Number 1, properties of ionic bonded properties of ionic bonded compound. Number 1, ionic bonded compounds are generally solid in nature. Ionic bonded compounds are generally solid in nature. What is the cause behind it? Ionic bonded compounds are generally solid in nature. What is the cause behind it? Here what we see, the bond strength is very, very high. As a result, the intermolecular space is very less and intermolecular attraction is very high. As a result, they generally will form the solid substance. They generally will form the solid substance. Number 2, melting and boiling points are very high. That is clear because as soon as the bond strength will be higher, then higher amount of energy is required to break that bond. As soon as the bond strength is higher, then higher amount of energy is required to break that bond. As a result, what we will see, the melting and boiling point will be very high. Melting and boiling point will be very high. Third, either in molten state or in aqueous solution, it can conduct electricity. Or in aqueous solution, it can conduct electricity. When we will consider any ionic bonded compound, as for example sodium chloride, it is solid in nature, but it is unable to conduct electricity because solid sodium chloride are unable to form ion. But these ionic bonded compounds, when we will take it in aqueous solution or in molten state, it will be converted into Na plus and Cl minus. As a result, due to this formation of ion, it can conduct electricity. Because we know electricity we can conduct either by the flow of electron or by the formation of ion. Here in molten state or in aqueous solution, it can give ion, but it is unable to give ion in solid state. For that, solid sodium chloride is bad conductor of electricity, but molten sodium chloride or aqueous solution of sodium chloride is good conductor of electricity. The last point is ionic bonded compounds. Ionic bonded compounds are brittle in nature. This is a very important point because in these 3 points we are discussing, the bond strength is very high, for that the melting point, boiling points are very high, bond strength is very high, for that they are forming the solid substance. But at the last point we are saying ionic bonded compounds are brittle in nature. Brittle means which we can break easily. Then this thing is contradictory, but how we can see that property? If we consider any sodium chloride crystal, then this crystal is formed like this: Na plus, Cl minus, Na plus, Cl minus, Cl minus, Na plus, Cl minus, Na plus, Na plus, Cl minus, Na plus, Cl minus, Cl minus. By this way, join with each other. By this way, they will join with each other. But when we apply pressure, then one layer will shift. One layer will shift. When one layer will shift, then what we will see? Na plus Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus. Here, what we see? Same charge, Na plus, Cl minus, Cl minus. Same charge close with each other. As a result, they will repel with each other and crack will develop. For that, what we can say, these ionic bonded compounds are brittle in nature. Next day we will discuss about the covalent bonding. Okay, thanks a lot.